Well, welcome, Dr. Elsa Cárdenas-Hagan.
Thank you.
Yes, we are so honored for you to be here. Of course, author of Literacy Foundations for English Learners.
Yes.
And man, your sessions just seem jam-packed with people immersed in the learning and engaged. And I wonder, if your fashion sense and your scholarship are just so just energetic and electric in that room, I can't imagine why they wouldn't be in there. But we're just so honored to have you here. And I wanted to pick your brain for a second about what you would think is the most pressing issue facing educators today.
So I think in trying to bring what we call the science of reading into our classrooms today, what happens is the way things get implemented. And it really concerns me that we are now kind of practicing silos, that, you must have phonological awareness for these early reading skills and phonics and fluency and vocabulary and comprehension. And we've got to link to writing. But our teachers, like Louis Simon says, teachers teach. It's not the programs that teach. But what worries me and concerns me is that we're not really designing well-planned, intentional, and authentic, well-aligned instruction. So why do I do phonological awareness with a young child? Well, that has to be linked to what I'm going to be learning in reading. And so I've got to practice my reading, and I've got to have enough reading to where I've got to get to those vocabulary and comprehension, and I've got to extend that into writing instead of I must do this program and then this program and the next program and the next program. And so our teachers are knowledgeable and they're doing the best that they can. But what we need to make sure of is that we're really designing the lessons to have a purpose in mind. And we need to tell our students that purpose. But today what I did is I talked to the teachers about focus also on language. For students who are multilingual and also monolingual students, all students need to develop their language skills. And I talk about that language foundation as the foundation for literacy. And we need to be purposeful and intentional about that. We know teachers spend about 30% of their day on oral language. It needs to be well designed and well practiced. And this is one of the first rules I say. Have your students speak in a complete sentence. And even today in the session, I go, you all didn't answer me in a complete sentence. And I go, how would that be in a complete sentence? Don't give me a one-word answer, because our students need practice for that. And the other thing that concerns me is, really talking about developing, strong vocabularies across. Now, one of the best word learning strategies is morphology. I didn't get that chance until I was an undergraduate student at the University of Texas at Austin. Professor Daly, I took a course called Greek and Latin Roots for Medical Terminology. He opened my eyes. As an English learner, I never knew that all these word parts could help me learn all these other words, and that 60% of them came from Latin, my language base.
Yeah.
And then you take the GRE after that, and guess what? My score soared. He gave me a word learning strategy that opened my eyes to this. And so in Texas, I've really pushed for this to be in our early Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, bringing it down, because young children can do this work, and we're not giving them a fish, we're teaching them how to fish.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what they need. And so I think the main ideas I was giving today was think about language, think about developing that as you're doing all of these components of literacy, because without language you won't have literacy. But think about it through the lens of a student who comes from a different language, a different culture, and how you can help them to make those connections so that they feel connected to what they're learning, and be purposeful and intentional. And we need to give credit to our teachers. They're very knowledgeable. They have a lot of knowledge, but there's extra features that they need. So we're not discounting that, teachers are not experts. Yes, teachers are experts, but think about how we can make those connections and try not to work in silos. And hopefully our administrators aren't pushing the silos either, right?
That's true, yeah.
Because they do what they're told to do.
Yeah, well, and what a great, thorough, and thoughtful answer, because that was sort of where I was leaning was, what, let's unpack that core idea of your session today, and you went right into that. So I see that direct link, and I love what you said about being purposeful and intentional. So it's just such an honor to have someone at the forefront of this work, and of course, emergent bilingual, English learners. It's such a critical issue that needs to be continually addressed.
And what we need to remember is that because we're multilingual, that's an asset. And I get to do the job that I do because of multilingualism.
Sure.
And to work in Texas, it's such a benefit to speak more than one language. What a wonderful thing. And we can do this work. And I know that we're getting more dual language classrooms. It's super exciting.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. But what I try to show teachers is even when you're doing foundational skills, you can bring in language, the sounds, the words, their meanings, how the words work and how you use them, into simple concepts like phonological awareness and phonics and fluency and comprehension. And really, it helped teachers today. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this. So I got excited when they said they're going to do it. I go, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Research to practice, research to practice. So it's just my honor to be here today, to get to meet with teachers and get to share our work and really help them to see this is what we know from the research world, and this is how you do it in practice. And that's the link. And we honor you, teachers. You are experts too. Here's some extra things that you can do to put language to literacy and to have the integration of all of these skills, phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension, and writing, and move away from the silos.
Absolutely. Incredible work, and thank you for your thoughts on that. Again, we're just so honored. Dr. Elsa Cárdenas-Hagan, author of Literacy Foundations for English Learners. We hope that you can come back sometime soon.
I want to come back.
Sooner than later, for sure. Thank you
you
so much. We're really honored to have you.
Thank you for having me.